Hey Internet, this is your one nightmare. This week on 14 Takes, we're doing our top 10. If you've seen any bit of my channel, you probably guess I'm doing top 10 video games. I mean, come on, it's me. So let's get right to this. Number 10 is probably one of my favorite PlayStation 2 games. Yeah, on this list, it's my favorite PlayStation 2 game of all time. It's an RPG, and it's not Final Fantasy, it's Dark Cloud. This game series is about the world getting destroyed in some way, and you have to put it back together and then defeat the evil thing, in which case is a giant fat purple monster. Regardless, I had a lot of fun with this game. It's one of my favorites, hence it made top 10. Number 9, if you watch my stream, you can probably guess what it is. Borderlands II. This is one of those first-person shooters that I love jumping into just to beat the crap out of everything that moves. It's hilarious. It's one of the best ones out of the series, and I just enjoy it way too much. Number 8, a game that from just looking at it, most people wouldn't expect this to be fun. Earth Defense Force 2017. This game is retardedly fun. If you tell people about it, they're gonna think you're crazy. Giant bugs invading a city, and you have ridiculously powerful guns. Have fun! That's the only reason why I love this game so much, is just the pure simple fact that it's stupid fun. It's fantastic. I highly recommend you check it out. Number 7. This game is almost older than me, but I love it all the same, and it's Diablo II. This game, I have had several... Honestly, this was my first LAN parties. Some of them. True LAN parties, not... Yeah. This RPG and this game series, I love the lore to. They even came out with 3 books, which I have read all of them, and I love them all. The flavor of this world is so awesome. And now looking at my list, I realize there's actually quite a few RPGs on here. But Diablo II, number 7 on my list. If you haven't played it, go play it. If you've played Diablo 3, and you go back and play Diablo 2, you're gonna be like, why isn't Diablo 3 like this? Number 6. Favorite NES game. And it's not Zelda. It's Mega Man 2. This is one of those games that I love sitting down and beating. I have beaten this game several times. I love every boss battle. I love every bit of design of this game. It's hard in the sense that it's an NES game, so you can expect that difficulty, and I just love it. Yeah. The other Mega Man games, they're okay. I'm sorry, this one's my favorite. Number 5, The Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion. I have wasted, well, not wasted, but I have spent a large amount of my life and time playing this game. Unfortunately, I never seem to be able to keep it for very long. This was my RPG for, I want to say, most of high school. I had at least 2 characters with 300 hours in each of them. There are things about that game I still remember and still love. Yeah, the blank stares directly into your eyes and some of the graphics weren't the best. I mean, look at some of the older games. Their graphics are not as great. Oblivion had some aesthetic pleasantness to it, but it was the world you were interested in. It was the lore and the epicness. You were a nobody by destiny to save the world. It was awesome. I loved it. I Would play it again if I still owned it. Recommend playing it. A lot of people having played Skyrim, you're probably not going to enjoy it as much. To me, Oblivion was better. That's my opinion. Number 4. This is a newer title, and I actually didn't play it when it came out on the PlayStation 3. The Last of Us. So I actually played the remastered version. However, this game, story-wise, was epic. And the ways the characters interacted with each other, and every enemy posed a serious threat to you. This is a game where it's not quite like most shooters, where you can run around and just annihilate everything. This game actually made me have to think a bit and search areas. Not because I wanted to, but because there was actually more of a necessity to. I needed to find as much ammunition as I could find, all the health kits, everything I could to help me get through the next part, because I didn't know what they were bringing. If you ended up playing the DLC, it adds even more to it. Highly recommend, go out and play it. PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, doesn't matter. Find a way to play it, even if you have to go to a buddy's house. Number 3. Now, this might actually surprise a lot of people, because everybody who knows me personally knows my favorite game series of all time is Assassin's Creed, because of the story and the world and just how everything is set up. However, my favorite game of all time is not an Assassin's Creed game. My third favorite game is, and it's Assassin's Creed Revelations. Some of the gameplay in this was a little bit interesting. If you ignore the tower defense game in it, which the Assassin's Creed series has always experimented, and I liked that. You never see the tower defense game in any of the newer Assassin's Creed games. It was something they wanted to try. They took a risk. Didn't pay out as much, but the story of Assassin's Creed Revelation ties at least two major characters together, and how they relate to the main character of the game. They took a very interesting approach to the story, and it paid out well. Some of my favorite moments in the Assassin's Creed universe are from Assassin's Creed Revelations. Number 2. This one has a special place in my childhood because it's really what got me very heavily into gaming. Surprisingly enough, I didn't always used to sit around and play video games all the time. I actually used to go outside, which is weird, but at the same time, understandable. Halo Combat Evolved. There is so much about this game that I loved, just from the world, the story, the secrets you could find, and just the memories that I have playing this game with my friends. More of my favorite moments in my childhood, within at least middle school and high school for me, were playing Halo with my friends on Friday nights, staying up late, or staying up all night, just playing through. I even remember me and my friend sitting around as we tried to beat this game on the hardest difficulty, and then he tripped over the power cord in the last cutscene. You kids will never understand what it meant to try to see Master Chief's face, and Halo 4 ruined it. My number 1 game of all time, this has actually been debated by a few places as one of the best games of all time. I agree, only because I played it when I was a kid. I played this before I knew how to play video games. I've only said this to a couple people, but the 3 games of my childhood were Donkey Kong Country, Monopoly, and my number 1 favorite game, The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. This game is probably what got me into RPGs. It got me into storytelling. It got me into an awesome imaginary world where I was the hero that was basically against all odds. If you look at this game and you think, Ocarina of Time was better, I played Ocarina of Time. Still having trouble with the Water Temple, but I'm not gonna lie, I enjoyed this one so much more, and I loved it. I loved the mystery. I couldn't beat it as a kid, at least until I got into high school. Once again, I'm not always that great at games, but I loved the challenge, and I loved just the world around me, and that there was so much more for me to explore that I couldn't get to, and it pushed me, and I loved this game. So there you have it. That's my top 10 favorite games of all time. Make sure to check out my channel. I should be posting some new videos in the near future. We'll see. Life is getting pretty hectic. But anyway, there you go. And make sure to stay frosty.